Near Palia village, inside a wheat field, two villagers saw a man lying badly hurt and barely alive. At first, they thought he was dead. Shocked and scared, they ran back to the village. Soon, they returned with more people. When everyone saw the man's terrible condition, they quickly called the police for help. The police reached there fast, bringing an ambulance with them. The medical team checked the man and found he was still breathing. Without wasting a second, they put him in the ambulance and took him straight to the hospital for treatment. While the police were checking the man's things, his phone suddenly started ringing. An officer picked it up and spoke to the caller. The police asked, "What is your relation to him?" The person replied, "He is my elder brother, Dilip." The officer said, "Please come quickly to Vidna's CSC hospital. Something bad has happened to your brother." Hearing this, the brother felt like the world had stopped. Just a little while ago, he had spoken to Dilip. He couldn't believe something had gone wrong so quickly. Without wasting time, he gathered a few people and rushed to the hospital. When they reached, they found out that Dilip had been found lying unconscious in a wheat field near Palia village, which comes under Sahar police station area. In Vidna, Dilip's family believed he might have met with an accident, maybe a road crash. He had been married just 15 days ago. The house that was full of happiness and laughter was now filled with sadness and silence. Soon the rest of the family reached the hospital. When they saw Dilip lying in such a serious condition, everyone hoped it was just a simple accident. But when his health didn't get better, the doctors sent him to Safai Medical College for better treatment. As soon as Pragati, Dilip's new wife, heard the shocking news, her heart broke. Her world turned upside down. Crying non-stop, she ran to the hospital. When the villagers at the hospital saw her crying like that, many of them also began to cry. It was a heartbreaking moment. But even after all the treatment at Safai, Dilip's health still didn't improve. Hoping for better care, the family decided to take him to Gwalior, in Madhya Pradesh. Everyone in the family was running here and there, trying their best to save him. Pragati was equally worried. She went with Dilip to Gwalior, holding on to hope. But after some time, the family gently told her to return home and rest. They promised they would stay with Dilip and take care of everything. On March 21st, Dilip took his last breath. His whole family was left shocked and heartbroken. How did things change so fast? In just 15 to 18 days of marriage, Pragati became widow. Everyone was worried about Pragati, unsure of what would happen to her now that her future was in ruins. Later, the police did Dilip's post-mortem. When the report came, it left everyone stunned. His body had 9 to 10 injury marks, and there was a bullet wound at the back of his head. This changed everything. It was not an accident. It looked like a murder. But who could hate Dilip so much, and why? The police felt the pressure mounting as they began their investigation. They quickly set up multiple teams to work on the case, and the questioning began. The Sarvanch team focused on checking all the nearby CCTV cameras around the places where Dilip was last seen. However, since these areas were in the countryside with fields, there weren't many cameras around. They began reviewing footage from places like the spot where Dilip stayed, the place where he had eaten, and the area where he was found, spanning almost 7 kilometers. Fortunately, they did find some cameras along the way. In addition, the police examined Dilip's call records, hoping to find any clues that could help. Next, the investigation shifted to Dilip's family. The police asked his relatives and friends about his connections, but no one seemed to suspect anything unusual. They all described Dilip as a quiet, honest man who never got involved in fights or problems. Dilip came from a large, wealthy family, and his family owned businesses across many districts. Because of this, the police thought there might be some enemies who were jealous of his success. They started to wonder if someone in the family might have a hidden grudge against him. The police questioned everyone, his family, friends, and anyone who knew him. But everyone's answers seemed normal, with no signs of anything strange. Meanwhile, Pragati was completely heartbroken. She cried nonstop, unable to speak or even have a proper conversation. She was in no condition to talk. The police also checked Dilip's call records, but nothing unusual stood out. He had only called people he knew, his family, friends, his brother, and his wife. However, the last call Dilip made was to his brother, Sandeep, around 1:30 p.m. Dilip had told his brother about some people on motorcycles whose car had gotten stuck in a canal, and they were planning to use a machine to pull it out. And since Dilip had the Hydra machine, they asked for his help. Could these people have anything to do with his situation? The ballistic report showed that a .315 bore gun was most likely used to shoot Dilip. During the investigation, a camera captured a motorcycle with 3 people riding on it. The bike was headed towards the field where Dilip had been found. Upon closer look, it was clear that Dilip was sitting in the middle of the bike. The rider of the motorcycle was visible on the footage, but the third person sitting at the back couldn't be identified. The police traced the details of the motorcycle and discovered something surprising. The rider wasn't just anyone. He was a criminal with a long past. He had over 10 cases against him. Just recently, on March 12th, he had been released on bail. His name was Ramji Nagar. The police already had a file on him. The police used their informants and began searching for him. Soon, they got a tip that Ramji Nagar would be coming to Harpura Moor. The Sahar police station was prepared and waiting for him. On the afternoon of March 24th, as soon as Ramji Nagar arrived at Harpura Moor, the police arrested him. Along with him was another man, Anurag Yadav, also known as Bablu. From both of them, the police recovered a gun, 4 cartridges, and a motorcycle. The 2 men were taken to the police station. Ramji Nagar quickly became the main suspect after CCTV footage clearly showed him riding the motorcycle with Dilip. Since Anurag also had a gun, the police arrested him too. They began questioning both men about where they had gotten the weapons. Even though the police tried to be kind and gently encourage them to tell the truth, neither of them gave up any information. Ramji Nagar stayed quiet about why Dilip had been with him. But the police used their own methods to put some pressure on them. Before long, Ramji Nagar broke down and confessed that he had been hired for 2 lakh rupees, and it was Anurag who had given him the job. This shocked the police. Not only had they caught a criminal with a bad past, but they had also uncovered someone else involved in Dilip's case. With this new information, the police quickly set out for Dilip's village, Patrick, in the Bogav police station area. The family there thought the police had come for questioning, but instead, they went directly to Pragati. A female officer took Pragati aside for questioning. Just a few minutes into the interrogation, the police took Pragati into custody. As the police took Pragati to the station, her heart was breaking. She had already lost her husband, and in just 15 days, everything in her life had fallen apart. She cried uncontrollably, not understanding how they could do this to her. The police then told her family that Pragati Yadav, their daughter-in-law, had played a role in Dilip's death. When they heard this, it felt like the ground had vanished beneath them. Both her in-laws and her own parents were left in total shock. Dilip Singh Yadav, a 21-year-old from Aureya district, had been working alongside his 3 brothers, Sandeep, Akshay, and Sachin, to run the Hydra and crane business their father, Sumer Singh Yadav, had built. Their father owned 12 Hydra machines and 10 cranes, and their business spread across 4 districts in Uttar Pradesh. This wealthy family was about to experience a new chapter of joy, because on March 5, 2025, Dilip was set to marry Pragati Yadav, who lived in Fafun. Pragati, who had completed her 12th grade, was none other than Dilip's elder brother Sandeep's sister-in-law, and she had been in a relationship with Dilip for the past 3 years. Dilip had to work hard to convince his family about marrying Pragati because they didn't know about their relationship at first. The family was looking for a bride for Dilip, but when they found out about his connection with Pragati, they refused to accept it. They didn't want 2 daughters from the same family to become daughters-in-law in their home. However, Pragati told Dilip that no matter what, she would marry him and no one else. Dilip felt the same way. Eventually, their strong determination made the family members change their minds, and for the sake of their happiness, everyone agreed to the marriage. On March 5, 2025, Dilip and Pragati were finally married with all the traditional ceremonies. Both of them were thrilled, and in just 3 days, Pragati won the hearts of everyone with her kindness and love. The whole family was happy for the couple, but no one could have predicted the terrible events that were about to unfold. According to Hindu traditions, on the 4th day of their marriage, March 9, 2025, Pragati went to her parents' home. On March 19th, Dilip went back to work. After finishing his work in Bella village, he was on his way home and called his brother and wife, Pragati, to let them know. On one side, Dilip's family eagerly waited for him to return. But little did they know, he would be coming home in a coffin. And what happened that day, as I've already told you. Pragati was arrested and taken to the police station. No one could believe that the girl who had fought with her own family to marry him, the same girl who had been crying uncontrollably for 3 days, could be the one to kill her own husband. Like any other killer, she first denied her involvement. But when the police questioned her harshly, she eventually confessed everything, why and how she did it. But before we continue, if you've watched until now, please hit 1,000 likes on this video and leave a heart comment. Thank you. To understand this case, we need to go back 5 years to the year 2020. On February 9, 2019, Pragati's sister Parul's wedding was celebrated with great excitement and joy as she married Sandeep. Pragati was even more beautiful than her older sister. By the time she turned 17, her beauty had bloomed even more. In the same village, a boy named Anurag lived just 100 steps away from Pragati's house. His father, Ram Manohar Yadav, worked a private job and also farmed. Anurag, 25 years old, was a handsome young man. After finishing his BSc, he tried to get a job but didn't succeed. So, he started driving a tractor to make a living. Anurag enjoyed a comfortable life, often riding his bike around the village. Since they were neighbors, whenever Pragati and Anurag's eyes met, there was a sea of love between them. However, despite the strong attraction, they couldn't talk to each other, both too scared that their families would find out. This was during the time of the COVID pandemic. There was a long-standing feud between Harigovind Singh and Ram Manohar over a 5-acre piece of land, which broke their families apart. Despite this, Pragati and Anurag secretly developed feelings for each other. Pragati admired Anurag's lifestyle, and he was drawn to her beauty. Their feelings grew, and they began meeting in secret. Whenever Pragati visited her aunt in Aurea, she would use the excuse of going to the Sai temple and sneak away to meet Anurag at the Banke Bihari Hotel. They would spend hours together, talking and expressing their love. One day, they promised to live and die together, keeping their love hidden from their families due to the ongoing feud. Pragati often visited her sister Parul's in-laws' house and was impressed by their wealth. She wished Anurag had the same riches, thinking that if he did, she would marry him and live happily. In this state of mind one day, Pragati came up with a dangerous plan and shared it with her lover, Anurag. Her idea was to trap her brother-in-law, Dilip, Parul's husband's younger brother, into falling in love with her. After marrying him, she would have him killed and then claim her share of the property. After that, she would marry Anurag and live a life of luxury. At first, Anurag was shocked by Pragati's plan, but seeing the benefits, he agreed to help her. Once they finalized the plan, Pragati started visiting Parul's in-laws' house more often. She began to make advances toward Dilip. Dilip, a 21-year-old Hydra operator, was soon drawn to Pragati. Pragati lived in Divyapur, and she would find excuses to visit and spend time with Dilip. Slowly, their relationship grew. One day, their feelings for each other became so strong that they couldn't wait to marry. On March 5, 2025, Pragati married Dilip in a grand ceremony at the Radhakrishna Marriage Hall in Divyapur. As Dilip's bride, Pragati arrived at her new home in Nagladeepa, where she was warmly welcomed. The family saw the love between them and thought they were the perfect couple. But no one knew that this was all just a fake story created by Pragati. On March 17th, Pragati went to the same hotel where she had always met Anurag. She was sitting in the hotel, planning the final steps of her plan. From the beginning, her plan had been to trap Dilip in love, then kill him and take his wealth. She wanted to use his millions to live a luxurious life with Anurag. Pragati started thinking of ways to make sure Dilip's death would look like an accident. To carry out the murder, Anurag called in his cousin, Durlab Yadav. Durlab then hired his friend, a criminal named Ramji Nagar, for the job. Ramji agreed to kill Dilip for 2 lakh rupees, about $2,400, with 1 lakh rupees paid up front and the rest after the job was done. Anurag and Pragati didn't have enough money for the murder, so Pragati kept 70,000 rupees, $840, from the ceremony and took it for herself. She then asked Dilip for the remaining 30,000 rupees, $360. Unaware of her intentions, Dilip didn't know his own money was being used to plan his death. Pragati arranged 1 lakh rupees, and Anurag collected the rest. Once the full amount was ready, 5 people were involved in the plot. They waited for the right moment to make it look like an accident when Dilip left for work. On March 19, 2025, Dilip called Pragati before heading back from Bella village. She immediately told Anurag, who then brought Ramji, Durlab, and Shivam to the location. They followed Dilip to a quiet spot and lied about their car breaking down, asking for his help. Dilip, trusting them, agreed to help and followed them to the spot. They took him to a wheat field in Palia village, where Shivam arrived on a second bike. Dilip looked around, but couldn't find the car. Before he could react, they attacked him. That's today's case. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments and turn on notifications. Thank you.